The president's claims of a more secure border aren't supported by the enforcement facts and not supported by the Government Accountability Office. A GAO report shows nearly 40% of illegal immigrants avoided apprehension by the Border Patrol and made it across the border into this country. And Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents claim the Obama administration itself is blocking them from carrying out their enforcement assignments. A federal judge has ruled that their lawsuit against ICE Director John Morton can move forward. That lawsuit claims that Director Morton's memorandum on prosecutorial discretion prohibits agents from arresting illegal immigrants, essentially forcing them to violate their oaths of office. Following the president's speech today, the fate of the Gang of Eight proposal and these critical pillars to their legislation remain uncertain. First, to secure the borders, to create an effective employment verification system to ensure businesses don't hire illegal immigrants, to create visa programs for highly skilled, highly educated workers, and to establish a new agricultural worker program, and to then establish a pathway to citizenship for those illegal immigrants who deserve the opportunity. Joining us now in the Dobbs Forum, one of the attorneys representing the ICE agents and the co-author of a number of state anti-illegal immigration laws, the Secretary of State of the great state of Kansas, Chris Kobach. Chris, good to have you with us. Also with us, Alberto Cardenas Jr., attorney for Vincent and Elkins. Beto, good to have you with us. Former prosecutor, Fox News legal analyst, Lise Wheel. I'm going to start, if I may, Chris Kobach, with you. Your reaction first to the bipartisan plan that insists upon border security first.
Well, a couple of things. One is the outlines of the plan. We don't have the specifics yet,
Sure.
but the outlines look remarkably similar to what we saw in 2006, 2007. Last time we had a big amnesty bill in front of the Senate. And, you know, I think the biggest problem, even though it does have some Republicans signing on, is the fact that it's going to cost us over $2.6 trillion, which was the price tag of the last amnesty. Because when you give legal status to all of these illegal aliens, they then become eligible for food stamps, Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, WIC, all these other programs. Yeah. And they are contributing in so little in income and taking out so much in welfare that it would have cost $2.6 trillion last time. Your
$2 trillion assumes that illegal immigrants would be able to avail themselves of welfare. Senator Rubio says absolutely not. The Gang of Eight, the bipartisan senators, say absolutely not. Let me give you the reaction to President Obama's speech today, and then I want to turn to yours. But first, I want to take up Senator Rubio's comments. He said, "I am concerned by the president's unwillingness to accept significant enforcement triggers before current undocumented immigrants can apply for a green card. Without such triggers in place, enforcement systems will never be implemented, and we'll be back in just a few years dealing with millions of new undocumented people in our country." Furthermore, the president ignored the need for a modernized guest worker program that will ensure those who want to immigrate legally to meet our economy's needs can do so in the future. And finally, the president's speech left the impression he believes reforming immigration quickly is more important than reforming immigration right. Beto, your response.
I agree with what Senator Rubio said. I'm going to disagree with Chris. The federal law is clear. If you are not an individual who has been here on a permanent green card for more than 5 years, the states can't even consider giving you any type of government assistance, period. So that we've got to really set forward. I don't know where the $2.6 trillion mark comes from. I know that in lost wages, we are losing certain revenue that could come into our tax system. Quite frankly, the president does need to look at the fact that Congress is going to shape the bill. We elect a legislature or a House of Representatives and a Congress to lead us in that exercise with the American people, and that's what we're going to have to get to. You know, Lou, I think the president did make a good speech yet again, but speeches are not actions. Actions need to flow through legislation.
Let me ask you this. You said it was a good speech. I just said to this audience that he said nothing of substance. He offered no proposal, no plan. In fact, it was a 20-minute, frankly, of wasted time when it comes to policy initiatives. How do you say it's a good speech?
Well,
I know that
it's
you're a
good in the
generous
sense that
fellow,
at least
but
we're getting the
that's
dialogue.
over the top.
Well, we're getting the dialogue started, you know, and I think, you know, you can't just sit back,
Isn't
cross your
America
arms and do
great,
nothing.
Beto? We give one another credit for actually just talking instead of actually doing something.
Well,
as I
here's
said,
what I'd
Beto
like
is
to
a
see him
very
do.
generous
I'd like to
fellow.
see
How
him.
generous are you on that?
I'm not as generous, I guess, by interjecting himself into this at this point where the Gang of Eight has just come out with this proposed legislation
Right.
and saying, pretty much knocking it down, saying, no, I'm not going to shore up the, the borders. And yeah, it was sort of a, he did put this as one of his points, continue to strengthen border security. But that was it,
That's a far
that was
cry
it.
from border security is
Right.
a
Yeah.
condition precedent
To all-
to the legislation that is anticipated by the Gang of Eight. Chris, I understand your reservations, and you are philosophically, ideologically opposed to this initiative. But in fact, Senator Schumer was rather constrained as he led on this issue for the Democratic Party. Obviously, John McCain has been here before, side shoulder to shoulder with Senator Ted Kennedy in 2006 and 7. These people have to understand that the frustration of the past 6 or 7 years will continue if both the president, this is his apparent intent, is to get a full loaf and to give up nothing. The president gets a bit tiresome in this all or nothing approach to public policy. What is a way forward here from your lights, Chris?
Well, let me just comment on I agree with you completely, Lou, that the president is going for this all or nothing deal. Now, I will say that the Gang of Eight Senate proposal is actually very heavily weighted toward the amnesty, and there's not much there on the enforcement. And it does have Senator Schumer's fingerprints on it. For example, it doesn't say we will make E-Verify mandatory tomorrow for everybody. It says we'll create a new system, maybe 10 years in the future, 15 years in the future, and then we'll make it mandatory to verify employment. So even the Senate deal is not much of a deal for those of us who care about the rule of law.
Well,
I think the way forward,
the
to answer your
countervailing
question,
influence there, I would have to offer is Senator Rubio. He is a conservative. He is knowledgeable on the subject. He has worked on the subject, which is something that very few Republicans, other than John McCain, can assert, I think, convincingly.
Well, we'll see where Rubio stands, but at this point, it's all, very vague talk. And where
absolutely.
we do see the prospect for progress, though, to your earlier question,
Yeah.
is we can do a lot of smaller things that really make sense, like the STEM jobs bill. I bet everybody in the room agrees that the STEM jobs, taking away the 55,000
Senator
green cards
Rubio,
that give away in
Senator Rubio moving forward with that legislation, which
Right.
was introduced as a
So
sponsor
let's-
today.
So let's do that on its own instead of tying it to an amnesty. There's so many things we could do that we don't have to hold hostage next to an amnesty. Let's move forward on what we agree on.
I don't know about you, Beto, but when I hear the words comprehensive these days, after the years of this debate, this struggle, I just want, please, just talk straight. No gamesmanship, no politics.
Yeah.
Let's create a public policy that will help the estimated 11 million. We know it's certainly more than that. 11 million people in this country who deserve that opportunity. Your thoughts about how to go forward here?
You go forward by putting the prerequisites to dealing with the 11 million. What does that mean? It means enforcing border security. It means having a U.S. visit, U.S. exit program so that we know when people leave, they come in, they leave. We also have to have that E-Verify, and we have to have that enhancement of knowing, who we're employing, but we've also got to have that temporary worker program. We're never going to be able to fill out the needs that we have with our visa system that's broken if we cannot have the visas we need
if
for
we
the
don't get
employers that don't really disadvantage Americans.
I want to take up that with you, Beto, here. Let's take a quick break. We're going to come back with Chris Kobach, Beto Cardones, and also Lise Wheel. I want to take up the issue of why is this country focusing, instead of on 23 million Americans who remain without work, on 11 million who are undocumented but still have the opportunity to buy homes, have mortgages, bank accounts, and carry on a life far from the shadows. We're going to take that up, and also the important case in which ICE agents have succeeded in moving ahead against their own director because, as they claim, the Obama administration is actually blocking their efforts to enforce the law. We're coming right back. Getting to the heart of the issue in this today, the president's ego overtaking, I think, at least consideration for those senators and the prospects for success, Beto, and also Senator Rubio making it clear once again to this president, as he forewarned this morning, that it is absolutely unacceptable not to link the pathway to citizenship and all of these reforms to first and foremost border security. Beto, your thoughts?
That is correct. You're absolutely right, Lou, and Rubio's right. I don't doubt that the Republican and even some Democratic senators who are with them on this proposal are really thinking about the security of our country first, and I applaud them for doing that. What you've got to focus on are what are going to be the prerequisites. What is this country saying to itself when we address an undocumented population? Is it something that we just want to do because we feel like it, or are there things that we need to have in place?
Well, let's not go that deep psychologically. I think everyone at this point is ready to do what is best for the country, and that is, of course, is 66% of those surveyed in the most recent Fox News poll say, let's resolve this issue. Lisa, at the same time, this administration refuses to, as I just said to Beto, put security first, and indeed have just lost a court case against ICE agents who are suing the administration for blocking them from doing their job.
Big court case out of Texas. It just came out a couple days ago where the judge said, look, you know, here are the agents. There are 10 of these agents banded together all around the country. They came in and said, we can't do our job. We're told on the one hand to uphold Obama administration policy and not detain people, and there are certain caveats. You've got to be under 16 when you came here, not over age of 30, and all of these things, not have a criminal record. But we're told in that case not to detain them, not even to bring, start the deportation hearings, not do anything, not get any information about them, versus upholding the Constitution and what we were told to do under immigration law, federal law.
Do you remember another case in which federal agents had to sue their boss to get the opportunity to
do their
enforce
job,
the law?
to do their job, and enforce their job under the oath that they took, and so that they put this in the catch-22.
Can you think of another?
No, I can't. I'm thinking the wheels of my brain are turning.
Let's turn to one of their attorneys, Chris Kobach. You prevail, they prevail Friday in federal court. It moves forward. This is extraordinary. Let me ask you the same question I asked Lise. Can you think of another time? You've been doing the briefs on this. Has there been another time where federal officers had to sue their boss to get the opportunity to actually live up to their oaths of office?
No, I can't think of another case, and I can't think of any other example of where a federal law enforcement agency head has ordered his own agents to break the law. I mean, the closest we come to it is maybe Fast and Furious with the Department of Justice under this president. But no, it's extraordinary. These agents are put in this bizarre position where federal statute says you must place certain illegal aliens into removal proceedings, deport them. And yet Obama, through Napolitano, orders them not to deport them. So he is ordering the agents themselves to break the law. And I represent them, and we went to the judge and said in our briefings, look, we're being injured here. These agents are being injured because they're being told you either break the law yourself or you face employment consequences. You could be fired, you could be put on leave, whatever. And so it's a real victory for the agents to be able to make their case. And I think it's going to be tough for the Obama administration to defend the indefensible here, ordering law enforcement agents to break the law.
There are, however, in defending the indefensible, those who would say they are somewhat practiced at it. Chris, thank you so much for being with us. Beto Cardenas, Lise Wheel, thank you.
Appreciate it.